All right, folks. The Parlodian podcast was on a bit of a hiatus. A lot of holiday stuff going on.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah. It's it is kind of weird to hear that now from my customers. Like, I mean, obviously it is the new year. January is not quite over yet, but it is weird because it's like I've been saying like, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, that kind of stuff. And then now all that stuff's done, and I'm still, hearing that from my customers and stuff. It's kind of weird. But they're just like, yeah, Happy New Year to you as well. But yeah, I mean, we had, I don't know about you, but it was pretty good, pretty uneventful. No drama, none of that shit.
Yep, that's good enough for me.
The idea of goodness, New Year's resolutions always comes up. What's your New Year's resolution? I don't really subscribe to that. Not like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do for the entire year? I'm gonna choose to do this one thing for the entire year. Oh, I'm gonna quit smoking, or I'm gonna cut off drinking, or I'm not gonna eat so much, or I'm gonna exercise more. I don't really subscribe to that. I feel like, if you were gonna do something and you weren't gonna do it by, if you weren't gonna do it by January 1st, you were never gonna do it. That being said, I have picked up a couple of different hobbies. The last time we posted something, it was the to-do list, and I feel pretty good about getting that bench made and stuff. I was flipping through that woodworking book you got me. Man, there's some cool stuff in that book. But basically, I'm looking at that and I'm like, ooh, there's like a bunch more tools that I need. The main thing I need is a router, but I can get that. But no, it is just a weird notion. I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna start doing that. I don't really, like I said, I don't subscribe to that.
If you really want to, why does it take the beginning of a new year to make you want to do it?
Exactly. And you know what? And for some people,
I guess it's a clean slate to some people.
That's probably exactly what it is. And for some people, maybe that works. But to me, it's just like, hey man, if you're gonna do something, just start doing it. Whatever you're gonna do, just start doing it. Did you decide to start a garden at the beginning of the new year, or was it always just something you wanted to do? And then you did it when you could. I mean, obviously, yeah, what are you going to do? I want to start a garden. You're going to start it on January 1st. Your shit's going to die. You start fucking tilling your soil and planting seeds in January.
Start building a half-assed indoor greenhouse on like December 20th. So it's ready by January 1st.
No, you know what? Now I feel like an asshole about that because you do that kind of stuff. You'll start your seeds and stuff for the garden.
Oh,
I'll be January.
I'll be starting shitting some stuff mid to end of February.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not too ridiculous to think about that, but still though, you didn't need the Earth to make one whole trip around the sun to decide you wanted to do that. That was just something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like my sister when it comes to certain things. Like I'll see something that I want to do, and I'll get like real into it, and then typically I end up getting like I'll get over my head. So I'm trying to like pull back on that, like doing the stuff with the woodworking, and then you saw I bought that kit for that festival bag. And then I made that, and I was like, I could try leather working. No. I had a pre-made kit that came with everything that I needed, and the holes already punched out, But it was still pretty cool to do. But, you sit there and you look at that and you're like, oh, man, what do I need to do this? Just by myself. And then it's like, it's no big deal, man. Maybe about $200, $300, $400 worth of shit just to get started. Same thing with the woodworking. Although with the woodworking, I already had a lot of that stuff already. It is kind of weird, though, like my dad never really had it. I don't know if your dad did. Or at least if he did, I never saw, like, the tool shed. But it is, it's you start off with, you buy the stuff that you need for the job you're doing at the time. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need this thing. And
no,
you have that.
It's like that.
And then pretty soon you're like, I need a whole room for this stuff. And then you have a fucking tool shed or you have a workshop. It's weird how that that stuff accumulates. And you're like, oh my God, why is this all like this? And it was like, it was tools that were acquired for the job needed at the time, and hopefully kept in good working order and lovingly maintained. I have a hard time doing that.
I am bad with that. I am nowhere near as good as my father with that. My dad's the type who had like the mechanic toolbox with the drawers.
Oh, yeah.
And there'd be like a whole drawer with just different screwdrivers and another one with different wrenches and other little tool. I was like, man.
Yeah, I'd have like one drawer with like a really teeny Phillips head, a really teeny flathead, and then like a ridiculously sized Phillips head and a ridiculously sized flathead. And it's like, I bet you those do all the jobs I need them to do.
And they're never organized. It's usually scattered about. I got multiple little tool bags scattered about this fucking place.
I bought a toolbox like a year ago, thinking like, this is gonna be the only thing I have. It's full. It's full. It's made out of plastic. It was the most terrible purchase I've made. Like, I don't know who would buy a plastic toolbox. And I wish I had like an old timer like standing behind me going, that thing's going to shatter, right? The second you drop that with fucking 100 pounds of tools in it, that thing's going to shatter, right? You know that, right? You should probably get like a metal one or like a leather tool bag, like a plumber. No. I'm afraid to move the thing.
Yeah. Or you drop it and then it gets the big crack, and then when you decide to move it, then it all breaks like a fucking egg.
Dude, well, I bought the toolbox that I bought. I wanted something that had a gasket on it because I had a metal toolbox. Like when I got my first car, my mom bought me this like hyper tough Walmart toolbox, all metal. And in my car it was fine. The second that I put it in my work truck and then I left it out in the rain, it got rained on. So it got rained in. And then it got filled with rain. And then all my tools got rusted. And I was like, I need something with like a gasket on it, to keep the rain out of it. So I bought like a DeWalt plastic toolbox. It's pretty heavy duty, but the tool shelf thing on it, that thing cracked immediately. It's garbage. And I don't have enough room like in my truck to carry all the stuff that I need to carry. Actually, I posted a thing on Facebook. I have these the battery operated tools that I have. I don't want to mention the brand because I don't want to get made fun of. It's Hart. The Walmart. The upper tier from Hyper Tough Walmart tools. They do all right. But I've got this tool bag, and it came with, I think, a skill saw, an impact gun, and a drill. And now I have like an orbital sander, and all this shit's not going to fit in that bag. And I posted a thing on Facebook. I was like, I have these tools that I can't all fit into the bag. So I took them out. Because now that I think about it, if I need a skill saw and I need a dual orbiter sander for the job that I do, I need a raise.
Or they can buy the tools, and you don't have to use your own.
It's all about what company you go for. You know, do I need a cordless drill? Not really. The main thing I use my drill for is to.
But we don't need it all the time either. If it's a job where you don't need to have it all the time, like that's something that needs to be like on your belt almost. I get where you got to buy your own then.
Yeah,
that's like me having to buy a trowel and other.
Yeah.
tools.
Oh yeah.
But we need drills sometimes for some of the shit we do. There's no reason the guys on the job need to have those. That's supplied by the company to do the little stuff like that.
Yeah, like for the company that I work for, like the hammer drills that we use for like busting through concrete and shit, that's paid for. The bits are paid for. But for me, it was tools that I wanted for myself, but I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on them just in case I put them in my truck and then they disappeared one day. That's why I bought the Hart tools. I think I bought that 3-piece set for like $150. Who knows how much it is now. But no, the main thing I'm using my drill for is to open screws on crawl space doors. Yeah, so I could sit there with a hand screwdriver and just sit there and fucking work the fucking thing out and, you know, maybe get the things unscrewed and then re-screwed back in after I'm done doing whatever I got to do. And it's going to take me 40 minutes, but that's 40 minutes from another job. So I bought these tools. But it did kind of give me a purpose for using them for other things. And they come in handy for some neat stuff. But it is, well, here's an example. I've got customers, especially like my retired customers. Oh yeah, by the way, if nobody knows about this, when you become retired, get a hobby. Get a hobby. Oh my God. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be the most humdrum thing. Just get something that fills up your day, because if you don't, you'll be waiting for somebody like me to show up to your house so you can talk to them for like 45 fucking minutes. But the regular person who's just got these tools, they have them and they're there. And maybe somebody looks at them like, oh my God, this guy bought a fucking hammer drill. What a fucking retard. He spent $300 on this hammer drill. How often do you use that? Well, I don't use it that often, but when I do need it, I already spent the money for it and I have it. I don't have to go to AutoZone and rent a tool and then spend the money it takes to go up there and gas and then to rent the tool and then to bring it back and then this and late fees and blah, blah, blah. That was a weird thing too, man. You can rent tools.
I mean, a hammer drill's good to have around, though. The amount of shit you could do with it. I mean, granted, when I realized it, I bought one for work.
Of shit you can do with it,
there's a lot of shit you can do. I
know. But when
between
you say
demolition and building new
exactly stuff. Right there, I just stopped at demolition. When you just said that, all I could think is the amount of damage you could do with it.
Oh, there's the damage, and that's initially what we'd get them for.
Yeah, of course.
But like, especially some of the smaller ones, man, where they're easy to handle. You know, drilling into stuff. You know, to bolt shit down, and they come in handy. I realized that when I kept one at the house. I bought it for work, and I was going to turn in the receipt, and I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll use it at work, and if it gets wore out, I got the receipt right here. But if it's, I only need it for so long, and it's still working good, I'm just going to hold on to it.
Oh, yeah.
For myself. And that way, you know, they didn't pay me the money back, so it's mine because I bought it. But they're worth having at least a smaller one. Fuck a big one. All that's good for is fucking heavy duty.
Oh, you mean like a big hammer?
Yeah, drill. Yeah. Fuck yeah, because they get fucking or chipping gun. That's more so a chipping gun, but it does the drill.
It all depends on what kind of hookup you have for it. Because I had one that was it was set up to be a hammer drill, or you flip a switch and then all of a sudden it becomes like this mini jackhammer, which is pretty cool. But
And it's still worth just getting an electrical one for ones like that. If you only needed a little bit, a battery works good, but the batteries die too quick in those still. Whereas, like, skill saw or something, battery operated ones of those are fucking great.
Dude.
I love that shit.
Dude, I inadvertently tested out the battery power of my Heart Tools making that bench. I couldn't find the other battery. It was lost under a bunch of fucking trash in the floorboard of my work truck. So I had one battery. And I used that battery for the skill saw to make all the cuts for the bench. I used it for the drill to pre-drill the holes for all the screws. And then for the impact gun to screw in the screws. And I don't know, I can't judge it. There's no percentage meter. Basically, I've got the fucking rinky-dink charger that came with it. But I was able to build that whole bench with one battery, a skill saw, a drill, and an impact gun. And at no point did it lose power, so it was pretty cool. And to kind of go off onto that little bit, that was the first thing I think I built. Like from start to finish, simple construction. Found the stuff on YouTube. As a matter of fact, I still have to take some of your advice and shore up some of the things on it to keep it from wobbling. But it feels pretty good to do something like that.
It does feel good. I don't do it all the time, but like, I think the last major thing I built was stuff like that chicken coop. Well, the one that,
yeah,
the one with the tree on top of it.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't
but
control the weather,
it's still
man.
standing to a point.
It's still standing.
No, it's a good feeling because I don't do that shit all the time. Little stuff like that, and then utilizing what you have around and still making it turn out awesome. It's a good feeling.
Well, dude, I mean, you do that kind of stuff almost year to year. Yeah, are you well, I mean, in your normal job, I don't know if you count your normal job, you're building buildings.
Yeah.
I don't know if you count that as an accomplishment as much as you count the stuff that you build.
Yeah, it depends
yourself.
on what I'm doing on some of those jobs.
But even then though, your garden, dude. Oh man, hey, we're having fajitas. Oh shit, man, I'll go out into the garden and grab a couple of peppers. Oh, hey man, I'm gonna make some bruschetta. Hey, let's put some fucking spinach leaves on that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
That was really good.
It was.
You haven't made that in a while. You gotta make that again.
Yeah, we do.
But then after you like you were saying, we were talking reusing stuff to build other things.
Yeah.
And then you have enough around. It's like the fencing for the garden, shit like that. Oh, what scraps you got? And then you throw it together. Yeah.
It's always fun, man. I once again, me going off the deep end. I went to Joann Fabrics and got a I think it's something like an 8x12 square of leather, and my idea was to make a arm guard for archery. And then as I was like, this store is filled with just everything you need to make everything you could possibly need to make stuff out of gay ass crafts. You can make beaded necklaces. You can make a dress. You can do whatever you want. The leather department of that store is like a little rotating kiosk, like the same thing that you would buy your sunglasses off of, and that's where all the leather stuff is. And I saw the thing for that festival bag. And I think that if I didn't buy that festival bag kit and put it together, I probably would be looking at that strip of leather that I bought next year. Just like, maybe I'll use it for something, whatever. But now it makes me want to go buy like leather working tools, which I don't need a whole bunch. But it's a fun hobby but you're not going to save any money. I bought Leslie that leather arm guard for like $35 for archery. If I were to recreate that, that would probably cost me $100 in tools and materials. And then even after I had the tools to make it, it's still going to cost me $50 in materials. It's ridiculous, but it's a fun hobby, and it makes you feel good when you do something like that. So like when you built your chicken coop, awesome. When you had your garden going, awesome. Something as simple as changing your oil yourself you feel pretty good about that. You bitch about it when you do it. Busted knuckles and fucking crawling around in the fucking gravel in the driveway, but you get it done, and you're sitting there and you're washing the fucking oil off your hands, and you're like, fuck yeah, I'm a man.
Yeah, dude. It always feels good when you gain XP.
Gain XP. I like that.
Leveling up when you do shit like that.
But how often do you do it?
Huh?
Like, for instance,
to where it feels like you level up.
Well, no, for the garden thing, you do that very often, and it seems like to me the way you described it when you first started, you had a shitty garden. You know, your yield was shitty, but then as you learn new tricks and you put new stuff into the, your yield was better and better. That's one thing. How often do you change your oil?
Oh, it's not as often.
Yeah,
I don't feel like laying in the dirt,
right?
though.
You go.
I don't want to lay in the dirt, man.
No, I get that.
I used to do it, but no. And I know it's quicker than working in the garden.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like laying down and doing it sometimes, man. If I got a coupon and can take it somewhere, fuck it, I'll do it.
Dude, that's what I did. Went to Valvoline.
Believe me, I was all high and feeling good high, like you said, it feels good doing it. You do it enough times, you got a fucking coupon.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have a fucking garage where you can get comfortable or a good set. I don't feel like,
There's a,
I just don't feel like doing it.
What was I thinking of the other day? There's a time. Oh, man. I can't remember what it was now. It's a corporate term too. You feel like a douche saying it. Basically a time to cost benefit analysis. That's what it was. Is it cheaper for me to go to Valvoline and get it done? Will it make me feel better to do it myself, or will I get more time to do the other things that I want to do if I just take it to Valvoline?
Well, no, now when I used to do it more often, I didn't give a fuck about doing it. To me, I saved more time, if you're talking time-wise, doing it myself.
Really?
Because because I'd have it down. I'd buy the shit either the day before or, early in the fucking morning somewhere. Bring somewhere really close to the house, get that shit back there and do that shit and be done with it. So the driving part's eliminated and the weight room part's eliminated.
Okay.
So
because
that used to be one of the main reasons I love doing it myself.
No,
now it's to a point where it's like I can work it into where I'll get some free time elsewhere. And I'll just take it somewhere.
I don't know if you've ever done this, but I've done it several times. Oh man, I gotta go get my oil changed. And then you drive over to Grease Monkey, and you see like 10 cars in each of the fucking 3 bays. You're like, I'm not going to go to Grease Monkey. Maybe go to Jiffy Lube.
Now see that
same thing there. You go to Valvoline, same thing there.
Ryan.
And then you're like,
and this is why I do what I do, because I can't fucking stand that. It's one of the reasons why I got into changing it myself and just the want to do it. But now because I don't feel like doing it as much and I take it somewhere, I get to those places like 5 minutes before they open, depending on the day. So I'd rather wait that time for those few minutes for them to open than to wait behind a group of fucking cars.
So basically what you do is you treat any oil change place, any lube shop like the DMV now.
The DMV? Dude, I get to the grocery store before they open just so I can like speed maneuver around the aisles and not deal with I've told you about it. Man.
Oh yeah.
It's like dodge and go when you go normal hours. Every motherfucker touching everything on the goddamn shelf, and then I just like to go and do shit early in the morning and get it done.
No,
when I do that.
and I get like that, but I can tolerate it. Mostly because I'm I'll be with somebody else, and even though I can't really stand it, like if it's just me and I don't have a shopping cart, just like weave in and out of people, especially at Walmart. Like, could you imagine if people drove the way people shopped at Walmart? It'd be fucking chaos out there, man. And
it'd be like not having stop signs at 4-way stops.
Could you imagine if you were driving on 95, right? And like, now you can't do it obviously because of the median. It's a big median. But you know what? I'll draw the picture. Let's say 95 was only like one lane, northbound and southbound. And like you're driving and you're going like 65 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden you have to stop because there's some dickhead with a megaphone having a conversation. Somebody northbound having a conversation with another person in a fucking megaphone southbound talking about their day. That's Walmart. That's shopping at Walmart. You go down this aisle and there's these two people and they're blocking the aisle. It's like, hey, where's a great place to have this conversation? The Subway or McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts. Whatever your Walmart has, have your conversation there. Or, hey, how's it going? I'm doing great. And you? Done. Conversation's done. I was walking through Walmart with Leslie, and she ran into somebody she knew. Our conversation was 5 seconds long. And I was like, this is great. All conversations should be like that. And then if it's not that, it's just these, the aliens. You remember the aliens from The Fifth Element?
Yes.
Just, that's all it is. These behemoths taking up both sides of the aisle at Walmart.
And then looking at you like you're in the way when you're just trying to get around real quick.
Yeah, and see, when Walmart ran 24/7, you would go super duper early.
Dude, I get there. They open at 6. If I'm going to Walmart, I get there at 5:55.
How early would you go there when they were 24 hours?
I'd go there around 4:35
in the morning. Of course you would. Yeah, fuck yeah. I would go there at 3 o'clock in the morning for the same reason. Now, I'm dealing with a different type of crazy person.
I was going to say, you're
easily,
towing that line where it's like switching the time frame of the type of people.
It's you get a good show. And they're pretty easy to weave around, but Walmart's never going back to 24 hours. They never are. But yeah, it was always very interesting going into Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning when I worked at night shift. And you could go to Walmart, you go there and like Walmart had like this check. You go to customer service, right? And you can get your check cashed. Customer service was only open from like 9 a.m. to like 7 p.m., right? But somebody told me about the secret register. They were like, oh, you want to get your check cashed and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning? Oh, man, go to Register 18. Register 18 cashes checks. And I would go there at 2 o'clock in the morning, leaving the warehouse I was working at doing night shift. And I would be standing there at Register 18. Lights off. But they see me standing there. Oh, man. You could dude, I would see somebody with a pissed off look on their face come walking all the way down. Like, what do you want? You know what I want. Cash my check. They would just get upset because they knew. It was like, Register 18 cashes the fucking checks. It must be something that they did for Walmart employees who needed to cash their check, but were working at 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, that was a fun thing to do. Well, as fun as it could be because there wasn't many things you could do at 3 o'clock in the morning when you work night shift at a warehouse. Oh man. But yeah, did you have to deal with any well, other than the weather and the holidays themselves, did you have to deal with any, crazy shit because of the holidays with work?
No.
Yeah.
Just weather when it would come up.
The weather yesterday and today was crazy. I mean, my office, they let everybody else VTO, voluntary time off. And I had stuff to do out in town, whatever. It was raining, but it didn't seem like it was raining like that hard. But I guess like overnight, man, it must have just poured down rain. I went into the office today, drove across to North Anna. Dude, that water was up almost to the top of the bridge.
God damn.
Yeah, we had an hour delay.
There was a lot of roads that were flooded out around here, apparently.
Yeah, dude, it was, dude, I got up. I usually leave. I got to be at the office at 8. I leave at 7. I get there at 7:30. I start the truck up. I didn't even get past your neighbor's driveway. I got a text message. Hour delay due to flooding. Backed up in your neighbor's driveway. I just came back to the house. Watched YouTube videos for an hour or whatever.
Damn.
They canceled school here.
Oh, they ended up canceling?
Yes.
I heard a delay.
They canceled it yesterday.
There was a lot of roads blocked.
Yeah, they canceled it yesterday and they canceled it today because of the rain. And I was like super psyched about that. I was like, all right, school's canceled. Wasn't canceled in Louisa. I got stuck behind a bus. It took a 20-minute ride from my office to the dentist office that I do in Louisa. And it took me 45 minutes to get there. A lot of kids live on Fredericks Hall Road, apparently. Yeah, I went to this dentist office. I've been doing this dentist office for like 10 years. Never had this problem. Went there today, did the pest control. Put up my paperwork. Go back in there. Take the paperwork into this lady. It's a new lady. Never seen her there before. This is fine, but next month when you come, can you do the pest control maybe at around like 11:45, around lunchtime when we don't have patients in? And out loud, I said, that's no problem. I work in the area. I can shift time around. But in my head, I'm like, you're the new boss, aren't you? You're the new lady boss. Oh. Dude, I've dealt with it a lot. I'm gonna change things. I'll speak with the owner of the building and I'll be like, hey, she wants me to come in and do your pest control on my lunch break. I typically don't get paid while I do anything during lunch. So if I work during my lunch break, your pest control is going to go up $15. Can I come in at 8 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, sure. We're not serving food. We're fucking doing dental work. And I don't do pest control in the places where people are getting their fucking teeth drilled. It's not allowed. I had that at Dahlgren too. We're gonna need your paperwork in triplicate. No, you don't. Oh yeah, we do. And then you can go through my boss. He'll give you the paperwork. We only have our paperwork in twos. And it's not just ladies. There'll be guys. The new boss comes in, wants to be big swinging dick. It's either a big swinging dick or a big swinging vagina. I'm gonna make a change. Okay. Love that shit. But ooh, okay. I forgot about this. And I'm going to leave a long pause. All right. There's that long pause. You were telling me about a conversation you had today. And it reminded me of something that I dealt with. Another work-related thing. I do pest control for this. It's a retirement community, and it's fine. It's awesome. Most of the people are awesome. There's like 90 units, and out of the 90 units, there's only like 3 or 4 crazy people, and they're not even crazy. They're just picky. But it comes off as crazy because they're 99 years old. I did their pest control the other day, and I went in there, and I was like, yeah, hey, man. Just doing the normal pest control stuff, And they were like, yeah, man, you do you, boo. Don't use lingo I'm familiar with. You're making me feel old. I'm going to go there next month, I swear to God, and there's going to be an old man playing fucking GameCube, and it's going to freak me the fuck out. Being reminded of my own mortality. So I didn't know if you wanted to. You know what? I'm sorry. That was bad. We'll cut that. We'll cut that.
Okay.
Stuff with your buddy.
Oh, yeah.
It just reminded me of it.
Oh, okay.
Just getting old stuff, man. You start seeing that. You start, what do we have? Radical. Tubular. Cool. And it's like, what is, fuck, no cap? What is no cap? I don't get this, because I'm old now. The new lingo.
Some of the new lingo is pretty fucking dumb, though.
It
Dumber
is.
than some of the shit we said.
Oh yeah. But then, hey, what did our parents think? When we were saying the stuff that we said, like, our parents were like, they didn't have podcasts, but, they had, like, barbecues and shit.
You know what my dumbass son said the other day?
Yes.
Really? My stupid piece of shit kid said that same thing the other day. What a couple dumbasses.
He said tubular to me as he left the house.
I never said tubular.
I know that's more of
I think that's before us.
That's before our time, but radical.
I put that before ours. I never said that shit.
Man, you know what? And maybe you know what? Because you were in the big city, and I was out in the country. We were 5 years behind.
No, I was in white trash suburbia.
Okay. I was in fucking a speck on the map. It wasn't even a speck on the map. It was a peanut butter smudge called Spotsylvania. And then I grew up. But yeah, okay. You know what? They're like words like cool. That's
that's been around.
That's
forever,
always that
and that was even probably back around our parents.
And I was gonna say that's timeless. That's probably not gonna go away. Full send. No. No cap. Dead ass. No. Not using those words.
I've heard, and I can't even remember the exact phrases that were used, but I've literally looked at some of the younger dudes that worked with. I remember that one.
Okay. Fat.
Yeah.
P-H-A-T.
Yeah.
I thought that was stupid when I was a kid.
Yeah. Same here. I thought the bomb was stupid.
Or the shit. You've used it.
Yes,
You've
I
used
know.
it.
Yes. Yes.
This is the shit.
Yeah.
So
you're comparing it to feces.
Then it transformed to the tits,
The tits.
which is better.
Yeah. I mean, tits are always pretty cool.
Yeah, better
shit,
than shit.
Shit's not cool. No,
This
who
is-
likes shit?
this is
like
the shit.
literal shit.
This is the shit, son.
I mean, I guess there is some sick motherfuckers. Yeah.
The fecal-philiacs.
Yeah.
Damn, we should have changed the name of our podcast.
The fecal philiacs. Sounds like a heel tag team unit.
Damn it.
It's like a warped version of the Bushwhackers.
Dude, god damn it. I was thinking of the Bushwhackers myself.
Nasty fucks all looking greasy and licking each other's faces.
The Bushwhackers. You think either one of them's alive?
They both might be. Dude, I remember them as the Bushwhackers when I was a kid. I found videos of them from before they went, I guess, to WWF or whatever. And they were like these villains.
Well, like the amateur circuit or
Something like that, or some of the other promotions.
this stuff before Vince McMahon.
Dude, they
started
were
buying
called like
them all out.
they were called the Sheep Herders.
Oh,
and,
okay, I
and they
remember that.
were violent as fuck, dude, blooding motherfuckers up with like these weird hooks. And I was like, get the fuck out of here! That's the Bushwhackers. Then they got that easy retirement gig that probably paid them a whole lot more money, and they didn't have to cut the shit out of themselves.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the easy retirement gig?
I guess licking each other's faces as the Bushwhackers.
Okay, you know what? Compared to, I guess, fish hooking each other
Yeah,
with
blading
fucking, like,
and
meat
shit.
hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an easy
Because apparently they
retirement.
were like all into that shit back in the day, and I saw one video of it, and I was like, Jesus fuck. It's like R-rated Bushwhackers is what it was. They were fucking mean as shit too. Like,
I guarantee you that it was easier. But those fuckers were probably like, dude, I just assume that like every wrestler, like before Razor Ramon, just ended up way worse than he did. Like Razor Ramon, Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake is alive, but I mean, goddamn,
He's-
he
yeah,
looks
he's-
rougher than what I don't know. Razor was pretty rough. Scott Hall, that shit was a bummer.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
He's one of those guys who was the whole time just battling that shit.
Yeah, dude.
I remember listening to Kevin Nash on his podcast, and it was just after he had died, and they were tight, I guess, till the end. Like, there's some good podcasts where they're telling like stories and shit, and they're sitting around drinking and doing it. It's good, but he was on there. He's like, yeah, it's a motherfucker, you know. Want to bring out drug tests? If you just let a lot of these guys just fucking smoke their weed for their fucking pain issues and shit instead of threatening to fire them, and then they end up just getting addicted to pain pills and mixing it with alcohol all the time. He's like, you'd have a lot of these guys that'd still be alive. Because apparently he never drank or fucked with that shit until he started getting more injuries and he couldn't smoke weed anymore.
Huh. You know, it was actually kind of funny.
He looked wasted half the
And-
time when he came out. When you look back on it,
And this might end up being a little topical, depending on when I decide to put this out or when we decide to put this out. But I guess you know Cat Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did. Man, It's like some like
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp,
And he has the worst name for a podcast.
the Shay.
Shay. The fact that it says Shay,
Dude,
that
and you know what?
this big dude, and but you know what? His set is pretty fucking sweet.
It's dude, it's really
comfortable ass chairs and some, nice drinks.
But he had Cat Williams on there, and Cat Williams is basically calling out like all of like the black comedy industry or whatever. Anyways, that's irrelevant. I mean, it's not irrelevant. It's very relevant.
He comes off like the big man in that room, and fucking Shannon Sharp is like 3 times the size of that motherfucker. When you look at him on the couches, and Cat Williams is just coming at him. Nice, he's not being mean, but
that's the funny thing too, because he's drinking the whole time.
Oh, and
when he makes a point to be like, well, maybe you shouldn't have so much. He was like, I've only had a sip,
and then took another.
He was like, less than you. And that was the beginning of the podcast. They continued to drink throughout the podcast.
It's almost 3 hours long.
Dude, I listened to the whole thing. And
was it pretty good as a whole?
It was really good. Now, Cat Williams makes some claims where, look, man, I don't know enough about the man to know if it's bullshit or not, but he makes some like really like outrageous claims. But anyways, the reason why I say that is because we were talking about, like the drugs and stuff. After watching that podcast, I watched, I think his most recent special, which is probably like maybe a half a year old, called World War III. And he was talking about, you ever hear about the war on drugs? You ever hear about the war on drugs anymore? Is there no more war? No. Is there no more drugs? No. They're just not going after the drug dealers anymore. Because the drug dealers are your fucking doctors. And yeah, dude, and it's like, and then he went about like the opioid crisis and stuff like that. But it is kind of, it's an interesting thing, because it's like, no, you can't. We couldn't possibly have you smoke this plant. That's, I'm sorry, I can't get behind the notion that weed's not addictive. I know people who smoke.
It's habit forming.
Yeah, I know people who smoke, but the thing is that kicking fucking OxyContin or kicking fucking weed, that's a big fucking difference.
Kicking alcohol and kicking weed is a big difference. People underestimate what for hardcore alcoholics, how dangerous it is if they just go cold turkey.
But it is very interesting, man. I've dealt with that with people. Like, oh yeah, I don't smoke weed and I don't drink. Oh man, that's cool, man, that's cool. All right, well, see you later, bro. I gotta head out of here, man. I gotta make it to the pharmacy. Oh, that's cool, man. What do you, if you mind me asking? I was like, oh, I gotta get my Xanax prescription. Oh, so you used to do heroin? What? How do you know that? Well, because they prescribe Xanax to heroin addicts, and if the second you get off of Xanax, you will immediately go right back to heroin. No. You just look it up. I've seen it happen enough times. You're basically you just replace dealers. You replaced your drug, and because you have a little slip of paper that you can turn into CVS every fucking month, it's fine. But no, doctors
Xanax cripples people in some ways worse than some of that other shit, because now they have a prescription in their hand, so that's like saying I'm justified in saying I need this, and then it cripples them from doing anything.
You know what the weird thing about that is too, and maybe this is the case.
I've never heard positives of that fucking pill.
I'm not a super big. I haven't looked at. I haven't combed through all the material, but you'll hear about heroin addicts who've been on heroin for like forever, just these lifelong addicts. And yeah, maybe some of them die, after having to quit cold turkey. But with Xanax, if you're at a certain milligram prescription and you go from fucking whatever the top milligram they'll prescribe to 0 immediately, you will die.
God damn.
You'll die. They have to wean you off that shit. They don't wean you off heroin. They don't give you little shots of heroin. Maybe they give you some maybe they give you some methadone, turn you into a zombie for fucking like
and then
the
people
rest
get
of your
dependent
life.
on that. I told you about the guy I worked with
Mm-hmm.
who had that special. He forgot his cooler that day, and then asked if he could keep his methadone pack, and he'd get off the scaffold and just go check on it and everything. Like, and it wasn't even anything. He was just weird. Dude, when he held that shit, it was like a Jehovah's Witness talking to you, holding their Bible up to their chest like that. He was holding that fucking rectangle box like that as he's talking to me, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa. And then on top of that, getting out of that stuff, he was a heavy alcoholic, which, I know I'd drink. This dude would knock back bottles of vodka every day. Like,
Yeah,
it blew me away when he told me how much. And then he started, like, I think he was swelling up in certain areas or something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Stomach.
I think so.
Yeah, it's your liver.
Yeah.
When you get real heavy into alcohol, man, your liver just fucking just swells up. You look like you're fucking like bloated and fat. You could have like fucking probably like 10% body fat or whatever, 5% body fat, but you'll look like you got this fucking pot belly. Everything else could be fucking wiry as shit, but you look like you got a fucking gut because your liver is fucking swollen. And hey, man, I like a drink. I like a drink a lot. But I've never had it interfere with my day-to-day life. Nah. And the second that it does is, well, the second that I won't tell anybody about it and I'll keep doing it until it becomes a very noticeable problem. And then I'll go into AA. Base. You can't touch me now. I got a problem. I'm a victim now. Base.
Damn.
Man, that is weird. We went into like having goals and doing productive shit to like everything that can stop you from having goals and doing productive shit. Well, you know what? I'll tell you. Maybe a lot of that stuff does stem from boredom. You know?
I mean, maybe. But then you could be constantly doing it while you're doing different stuff, though, too.
Oh, well, I mean, of course, there's the notion of the high-functioning alcoholic, the high-functioning meth head or whatever. Yeah,
I'm very aware of the term.
Of course. I heard the term.
I had that shit thrown at me, and I was like, "Don't you limit me to labels."
Well, it's funny because
power slop.
I thought of it. I thought of it in my head, and maybe not 100%. I wasn't using 100% of my brain power. So maybe there's a difference. I'm still not going to use 100. I completely refuse to use 100% of my brain power for it. But I heard the term yesterday. High functioning autism. Okay. Cool. You've got these social tics, and you've got these things that bother other people, and you have these habits that are an inconvenience to everybody else around you, but like you can perform these tasks that are, useful to everybody. Okay. You're a high functioning autistic. Nice. Awesome. Build that puzzle. And then maybe there's a high functioning alcoholic that has all the same God damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? All the same hindrances as a high functioning autistic, and they produce the same thing, all right then. But somehow the high functioning autistic doesn't have to make any changes, yet the high functioning alcoholic, they gotta go to fucking classes. They gotta stop doing everything that they love doing.
God damn.
No, it was an interesting concept. Well, where and if I wanted to use 50% of my brain power, the high functioning autistic was born that way and is using they're using their autism to their benefit, whereas the high functioning alcoholic will eventually hit the wall and will not be able to perform their duties as well as they were supposed to. And just don't make the high functioning alcoholics like crane operators or forklift drivers or oh goodness. Where are we at?
A little under an hour.
We can just call that shit out.
Yeah.
We'll call it out to the second. And a 1, 2, 3, and we're done. Just like hit the fucking stop button immediately.